Sometimes the hardest leadership challenge isn't managing your team, it's managing your boss. In many coaching engagements I've been a part of, something interesting happens. The leader being coached improves, but sometimes the person who might benefit even more is the leader above them. So the real question becomes, how do you influence upward respectfully and effectively? And how do you do it in a way that strengthens the relationship rather than damaging it? The answer often begins with something deeper than tactics. It begins with mindset. When leaders struggle to influence upward, I often see three things at play: mindset, beliefs, and behaviors. Our mindset shapes what we believe, and our beliefs ultimately drive our behavior. So if we want to influence outcomes, sometimes the first place to press pause is our thinking. Let's take a closer look at each one. Time out. Before we go any further, it's important to remember something simple. This is still your boss. Leadership above you carries responsibilities and pressures you may not fully see. So whatever approach you take, it must begin with respect. Respect for the role, respect for the relationship, and respect for the shared goal of helping the organization succeed. And there's one more important reminder. This video is not about your boss. It's about you. It's about how you manage the things that are within your control. Your mindset, your beliefs, and your behaviors. And there's one more important distinction. This video is not about the what. It's about the how. How you approach the situation. How do you think about it? How do you show up as a leader? Because while we can't always control the behavior of others, we can always take responsibility for how we think, how we respond, and how we lead. And that's where influence begins. Let's have some fun and start with mindset. Mindset is simply the way we approach the situation. When leaders struggle with managing up, the mindset often becomes something like, I need to convince my boss they're wrong. But that mindset rarely produces productive conversations. A more helpful mindset is something like this. It's not about being right, it's about doing what's right. Mindset also invites curiosity. Curiosity allows us to ask, what else might be true here? What might I be missing? What ideas or perspectives haven't been considered yet? Curiosity creates space, and space often leads to better conversations. The next place to press pause is our beliefs, because our beliefs shape how we think, how we communicate, and how we behave in conversations. If our belief is, my boss never listens, that belief will shape our tone, our body language, and our actions. But we can also choose more helpful beliefs. Here's a few that I think you'll find useful. I believe people are doing the best they can with the resources they have. Their experiences, their knowledge, their responsibilities, and the pressures they face. Here's another one. I believe if I were truly my manager or my boss, in their role, with their responsibilities, their experience, their knowledge, and the pressures they face, there's a good chance I might be doing exactly what they're doing. And another belief that helps in situations is simple. I believe I'd rather do what's right than be right. That belief helps check our ego at the door and shift the conversation from me to we. Once mindset and beliefs shift, the right actions, they become easier. One of the most effective actions I've seen is very simple. Ask for permission before introducing a new idea. Instead of pushing a point or challenging a decision directly, you might say something like, would you be open to considering another perspective? May I share another thought? Would it be helpful to explore another option? What this does is powerful. It lowers defenses and it shows respect. It also creates an invitation for the conversation to expand. Sometimes that small step makes all the difference. So here's a simple challenge to try the next time you find yourself needing to manage up. Before reacting, press pause. Take a closer look at three things: your mindset, your beliefs, and your behaviors. Ask yourself, am I trying to be right? Or am I trying to help do what's right? That small shift can completely change the conversation. Managing up can be delicate, but when it's done well, it isn't about challenging authority. It's about helping leaders think, see, and lead more effectively. And when approached with respect, curiosity, and the right mindset, it often strengthens the relationship rather than weakening it. Sometimes the most important leadership move isn't action. It's pressing pause. Pausing long enough to take a closer look. Because when we pause, we give ourselves the opportunity to update our mindset, our beliefs, and our behaviors. And when those things change, our leadership changes. Change is simple, but it's not easy. If you found this reflection helpful, or if you know someone who might benefit, share it. And as always, thank you for watching, and don't forget, enjoy.